Yeah, yeah, if I'd just been a minute earlier.
We're going to call the January 13th, 2025 Ozark City Council meeting to order at this time. I have asked Cody Sosby to lead us in prayer, and then Angela Harris will do our pledge. So if you would stand, please.
Father God, we just ask you to be with us tonight, be with the leaders of this city, of our state, our country, Father. Please help us to make good decisions. God, lead and direct us, keep us safe as we travel through this rough weather. Father, we pray for the ones that are having trouble in California and just all the troubles across the world. Father, we just pray that you would just bless us, Father, and help us do your work. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we get started, our city attorney has a couple of things he would like to cover.
Well, I've received a passel of emails today about vacancies in office and questions concerning council persons. And I wanted to tell the public and the council that those questions can't be resolved here. That's not the mayor's job to discern or decide who can serve as an alderman, who can't. That's not what she does. It's not what the council does. It's up to the councilman. And if there is a question concerning that, then the appropriate place for anyone who's interested in paying for it is to go to court and have it resolved there. I can tell you the law is a council person or any other elected official that is elected serves until their successor is elected and qualified. That means until they're elected and they take office. So in an instance where a council person is serving his or her stint and no one runs for office, that council person continues to hold that office until the next election cycle. It does not create a vacancy under Arkansas law. That's just what the law is. And then questions as to residency, residency is a very, very low bar. You can look through the Supreme Court decisions and do a little research on Google and probably find a case or five that the Arkansas Supreme Court has decided. And it all comes down to the intent of the office holder as to where their residence is. And so that is not a question that can be resolved. It does not create a vacancy unless that person decides that he or she is no longer going to live in that district and vacates it and resigns, or until the court says otherwise. And so that being the case, I've just received several emails today concerning some of these issues. I wanted to put it out there and maybe tamp that down so that we can get on with our business tonight.
Thank you. Susan, if you'll do the roll call, please.
Meyer.
Yes.
Minor.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Next on the agenda, we have the approval of the December 9th, 2024 minutes. Do we have any corrections or additions? If not,
Mayor, I've got
Okay.
an issue with part of the minutes on, it'd be on the second page.
okay.
On the minutes, it starts on the bottom about the community center, and then at the top, there's an asterisk there that says regarding pickleball and a situation that arose recently. We did not discuss that in our meeting last time. That was part of Brooks' report, but it was actually not discussed in the meeting. And I just wanna, if, it's not gonna be discussed, we need to strike that part from our minutes.
Did you find it? Okay, I see it right there. So, Argus, you all did discuss this in your Parks and Rec meeting,
Yes.
correct?
And it shows in her report, which is fine.
Right.
But it does not show, we did not discuss that in the meeting that night, so
Okay.
it should not be part of our minutes.
So did you just get that from her notes? Okay. Okay, you want to make that in your motion, or were you wanting to make that?
Yes, I'd like
Okay.
to make a motion to strike part of our minutes based on the pickleball information, however you want to put that in. I'd like to strike that from our minutes from our previous meeting, which was held in December the 9th, 2024.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. I need a second.
I'll second that. We're just leaving it in Parks and Rec and not on our meeting minutes, right?
Right.
Is what you
Yes.
mean?
Right.
I'll second it.
Hyler,
Yes.
Maker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Minor. Yes. Meyer.
Yes.
And next we have your financials.
Do we need to make a motion to accept the minutes corrected now?
Yes, probably, sorry.
Okay, I make a motion to pass the corrected minutes.
I'll second it.
Yes.
Yeah. Argus, you're gonna have to speak up into this. They can't hear you here, nor can they hear you at home. And I don't know if y'all heard me a while ago, but Brooke met with ASI last week, and we got to talk into it, please. Okay, we had a,
Maker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Minor. Yes. Meyer,
Yes.
Hyler.
Yes.
much better, thank you. Have any questions on the financials? Next month, we will make budget amendments, but we wanted to make sure that everything got cleared out and taken care of for January, for what was paid in December.
I'll make a motion to approve the financial reports.
I will second.
Maker,
Yes.
Hyler,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Meyer. Yes. Minor.
Yes.
Separate us.
Okay, next you had the department head reports. I visited with a council member today, and I will discuss it with department heads of going into a little more in-depth. Sometimes you all need to understand, though, especially if they've got a lot going on that week or that month, they don't have time to give a lengthy report, but I will ask them again to give a little more detail on their reporting to you all. And I will tell you that department heads and I are back on meeting the first Monday of the month at 9 in the morning to discuss issues that are going on with each department head. Next, we have committee and commission reports. Anybody have anything? I will tell you that A&P met at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and they had a work study session. I've not got to visit with any of them to see how that went, but as of this year, A&P is no longer going through the city. I found out that everything is supposed to be done through the A&P Commission. So today, they were going to establish a chairman, a vice chairman, and a treasurer, and the 4 people that would be on their signature list. So basically, after January 20th, we'll be completely finished with it here, because what people are coming in now and paying are their December fees. So after that, everything will be no longer with the city. So that's a big burden off of Marla, myself.
I will have a few bills, like the phone bill and electric bill, that I guess I'll get to you. I don't know if we need to change who's responsible, where to send the bill or whatever.
It's a totally separate bill, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, just have it, can you change the address and have it mailed to the chamber office?
I'll try. I'll
Okay.
try to call. I don't know if getting off and y'all's getting on, I don't know if they'll let me, it might take y'all having to call and,
Okay,
You
but
said
I'll
it's
initiate it.
okay, thank you.
Uh-huh,
the water bill and the OG&E bill
Telephone,
and telephone.
yeah, Verizon and
Okay.
Genie.
Okay, so if nothing else under committee and commission reports, we're gonna go into old business. First on the agenda is cards. So, Mr. Fitzgerald, would you like to take this, I'd say podium, yeah, you're gonna need to go over there, please.
Yes, Mayor, I asked Mr. Fitzgerald to come back tonight. We have discussed, basically, this is really not a dumpster issue. It says on the agenda, this is more about their trash fees at the transfer station. So I wanted him to come in and explain their need to raise their rates, and that's why he's here tonight, so, thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Is this on?
Yep.
Better?
It's not on.
It's not on. Push,
Green light on.
Now,
there you go, thank you.
you guys messed up now. You gave the trash guy the mic. We're in trouble. Thank you guys, Mayor, Council, for letting me have the opportunity to come before you. Per our contract, it states that we have to come before the council to ask for any kind of rate adjustment for the transfer station. I know that the transfer station is a little bit different than what we have in most of our contracts regarding residential trash and recycling, commercial, industrial, because it is a completely different business. I mean, it's unlike anything else that we do, but as you guys know, things have gone up in the past 7 years. We haven't asked for a rate increase for 7 years regarding the transfer station. There are a lot of costs associated with the transfer station, as you guys are probably unaware of, but may be aware of. You know, labor being one of them. The majority of our customers that we have that come to the transfer station are bag customers. So these are $3 per bag customers that usually live out in the county. Now, we don't mind providing that service. However, it's not economical. We pay the city $2,000 a month to maintain the transfer station or be there and operate it. But as you can imagine, it's going to take a lot of bags for us to be able to come even on that. So we're asking for some compensation with increase of rates that are reasonable with where every other transfer station in this area are. Just down the road, Clarksville, I believe, $66 a ton. They just recently raised their rates, and they're way closer to the landfill than we are. So that's the reason for us to come to you today, to ask for an increase on those rates. And to be honest with you, it still doesn't get us to where we're basically even out there. And I don't mind sharing some of the financial portions of that. I mean, we've always been very transparent. It's just not and that's why we wanted to purchase the transfer station. It's just not a moneymaker when we're having to pay back to the city for the transfer station. So that's kind of where we're at. And I just want to kind of throw the ball back to you and, one, see if we can agree to have the rates accepted or whatever you guys suggest. And I know that this is uncommon. It's not common for a waste company to manage also a transfer station owned by someone else inside the city. So I know we're kind of tiptoeing on uncharted territory here, but just wanted to come to you and just have some discussion regarding that if possible.
Okay, as we visited earlier, and you explained that without some kind of increase, we could lose that service or lose a portion of it, and or have our services cut. Basically limited to what we can get here. So if you might expand on that.
Right, and let's be careful there. I want to make sure that we're clear. The transfer station, we would basically have to come back to the council and suggest what it would take for us to become square or even to where we're not losing money every month just to operate a transfer station that's maintained, that mostly is used by the county, not necessarily people inside the city. Some examples of that would be minimizing some of the hours at the transfer station, days, maybe limit it from 4 days to maybe 2 or 3. We're just trying to figure out ways that we can still maintain and operate the transfer station, but not at a loss.
And this is not affecting our normal business, our trash route, the business, our residents. This has
Completely
nothing to
separate.
do with that. That's
Yeah,
separate on contract.
Completely separate.
Yes.
Yep. In the last 7 years, disposal's definitely gone up. Our cost of transporting it's gone up. There's just a lot of different variables and factors. There's no scale, so that it's very difficult for us to be able, I'd love to be able to say it's so much per ton and not have 17 different list items for us to determine what is or what isn't a truck bed full, over truck bed full, a trailer. There's a lot of loose interpretation. I'd love to clean that language up, but without a scale, we can't do that.
And putting a scale out there is not feasible, right, the way it is right now.
We could put a scale out there, but we don't own it. So, I mean, for the city to do that, I mean, you're talking about just under 100 grand,
Yeah.
unless you found a used scale, you know. But those are some of the things associated with transfer stations. It's very typical to have a scale because it gives you a true definition of how to weigh or gauge what they should be or should not be paying for. And most transfer stations have a 1 to 2 ton bin. So what that means, even if you have a truck bed of material that doesn't weigh 1 ton, you'd still pay that 1 ton or that 2 ton minimum to dump at that facility because the costs are so great to get that material to a landfill. It's mostly transportation and second handling where all the costs come into play.
How much of an increase are you really seriously looking at, percentage-wise? Because the numbers we got before were outrageous.
Yeah, what numbers do you have in front of you now?
I don't have any in
We
front of me.
don't. This is residential stuff.
Okay.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, the other went from like $35 to $75.
Well, I think that was in particular, again, that's loose because there's like 25 items out there that can be determined on what.
Truck bed was $75.
Right, I think what we've done is just say it's $75 a ton or $75 for material, you know, in the back of like a pickup truck that could weigh up to a ton. We're just, without a scale, it's very hard for us to determine that. And we don't want to put all that onus on Paul to be the bearer of the bad news on, you know, what it is or what it isn't. We want to make it very clear out there. And that's hard to do when you don't have a place or a way to, a lot of times if we have third party come in, we have them go down to the CAT scale and weigh and then bring us a weight ticket. But that doesn't happen very often. You know, we don't have a lot of third party come in other than outside of the city customers. No, we do get city customers, but it's usually on Saturday mornings. We do have some throughout. I'm not saying we don't get city customers. It is a place for convenience, but the only inconvenience right now is us having to find a way to do it in a costly manner. Yeah.
I know the bag trash was going from, it proposed from $3 to $10. Can you, that has been one of the biggest things I've heard back from people is, that's ridiculous. So
Sure.
kind of give us some
Well, there are-
input on.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
There are a lot of different options other than bringing it from your house all the way to the transfer station and dumping it. I believe our outside city costs are under $30 a month, and we provide the cart. I know that sometimes living in areas in which you may not have some of those amenities, there can be challenges, but we want to make sure that we do offer what we call it the mountain route because it's in the mountains. We go up 23 and up and out and over into some areas in which a lot of people don't go to, but we still facilitate a lot of service in those areas. So we would, and we've always offered that to residents as they come in. You know, if we see them, sometimes they'll come in 2 to 3 times a week with 2 to 3 bags. That's a lot of coming into town with their trash. So we're trying to offer options that are less costly to them, and they don't have to, you know, I'm sure they probably don't mind coming into town. They're already coming anyways, but if I could keep from having to bring my trash into town, I would definitely want to do that. But we're not trying to change a lot of things or make it to where it's difficult for people to operate or go to that transfer station. We're just trying to be honest with where we're at financially on running a facility in which needs a lot of help, a lot of repair.
Speaking of those repairs, can you have us within the month some cost
I
of what
can.
we're looking at and what we're needing to have fixed,
I can.
please?
That being said, let me speak here just a little bit. Bag trash at $10 a bag.
Mhm.
If you put 100 pounds in a bag, which is gonna be hard to do, even if you use a big leaf bag, that comes up to $200 a ton. That sounds a little excessive to me, when you're proposing 60 a ton for if it was going across a set of scales.
I don't think, is 60 a ton on the table? Right now, I believe we're charging 52.
Well, whatever it is, I don't
Yeah.
have the sheet in front of me.
Yeah, 70,
I
it was
remember it was
75.
in that, okay, 55, that makes it even worse.
75.
52.50 is going up to 75.
Okay, even at 75, that's still, if you could put 100 pounds in a bag of trash, you're still more than double of your tonnage rate.
And I would rather lean more toward, that's the exception, Charles. That's not so much what's gonna happen daily. Most of the bags that we get are probably under 35 to 40.
Well, exactly,
40
that's what I'm
pounds.
saying, so I think the 10 is excessive.
But we're still having to handle those bags, and we still have to compact them and then store them and then ship them out. I would rather have the 200-pound bag, to be honest with you.
I don't know, I think it's excessive. And also, speaking of the damages of the transfer station, I also feel you all have done a lot of that damage. And maybe we need to get it back in shape, and that's fine, but then we need to hold your feet to the fire that it don't get damaged again.
I would not mind that a bit. I mean, we've been paying $2,000 a month since 2015. I haven't seen any.
I'm not even totally opposed, I'll just throw it out there, I don't know what the council thinks. I'm not even totally opposed to a set of scales out there.
Yeah, I think
And I think that would just make the whole ball field even.
scales would make it better for everybody.
I don't
That's
disagree.
just me, I'm just throwing it out there, that's just my opinion.
You guys aren't alone here.
Now, how that gets financed, whether it's joint or whether it's all us, but that, I agree with you, that's the only true way to judge trash.
Well, it makes it fair for the people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it takes it off of Paul to having to decide if this truck weighs so much, guessing, that's not fair to him.
Like I said, there's a lot of interpretation with the way it's set now, based on the list of items that are there. And I know that's just the way it was done forever, but we've got to change that mentality, and we have to shift into a more, what are other transfer stations doing? And that's what we want to mimic. We've always done that because we wanted to be a good partner here. It's just we have not seen the benefits of doing that up to this point.
These higher rates, do you have them at the other transfer stations you have?
We do, yes, sir. At our transfer station in Springdale, it's $72 a ton. Don't go across the scale, and it's a 2-ton min.
So a bag of trash is $10 up there?
People don't bring in a bag of trash up there. We don't have people just bring in a bag of trash. I don't think I've ever seen anyone just bring a bag.
From the information that we had, I had Sherry, our mayor's administrative assistant, call around, and they are going up. Johnson County's going up first year, and so is Sebastian County. So all the areas are going up, and they're gonna be within $5 to $10 of what y'all are charging for a ton rate. So, I mean, and we're in the middle of all of them. So you're talking about transportation costs there also.
Right.
As far as, so, that's.
I mean, we're keeping an attendant there those 4 days. He's an hourly waged employee. And then we have the transportation of that waste. So we touch it. Once it goes in, he helps offload that, load into a trailer. That gets tarped, and then that trailer goes to the landfill at a set rate. Our set rate isn't any cheaper than anyone in this room. So we have the cost of Paul at the transfer station, then our operating cost of getting that from the transfer station to the landfill. So there's a lot of costs associated with it. There's not a lot of margin there at all. And like I told you guys before, it's a loser for us. We're open for suggestions on it. I mean, what we've presented to you is just what we've presented. It's where we believe that this area should be from a rate standpoint, and where, if we had gone through the increases throughout the 7 years, where it could be today. I implore anyone who wants to run the transfer station at the rates that they're currently at, feel free. I don't think you'd last very long.
No, but it's hard to stomach the idea of these big rates that was presented to us. Some of them are 200% and 300%. If you'd done it over time, it wouldn't have been a big deal.
And I can appreciate that. I understand that. However, I don't feel over time we should have had 25 different rates. I think we need, like you guys said, we need one rate, a tonnage rate. We need some kind of a minimum ton, and we need scales. That takes all the guessing out of it.
Well, at this point, we don't have scales, so that's, we won't have for some time even if we decided to do that. So we're either gonna have to pay for this service or not pay and not have a service. That's where we're at. I mean, like it or not, we're gonna have to.
I mean, I hate to table the issue again, but I think we had a misunderstanding on what we were talking about tonight. So we don't have the proper documentation in front of us.
Okay.
Like your fees we did get them before, but
Mhm.
I didn't bring them. I don't know what they
I
were.
don't-
I don't disagree that maybe a rate increase is warranted, but I don't know I know I wasn't prepared or done the research to look a little further into that.
Well, we have looked into it, and I'll be honest, I don't think research is gonna change a thing. Like I said, we're either gonna have to agree to this, or we're gonna be without the service. That's where we're at. Yeah.
But I think the rates need to be a little bit more feasible for our area than basing it off something in Springdale and everywhere else.
Well, but Sherry looked at Clarksville and Sebastian County.
But being more
She
comparable
did.
to them, I'm understanding with, but
So can I see those rates? Like, what is more
It's
comparable?
just
I'm more
basically
than
a
happy to
tonnage
look
rate.
at it.
Clarksville's at $66 a ton, with a ton minimum.
that's still $9 different than Springdale.
But look at the distance from Clarksville's transfer station to the nearest location
Where
for
did you take yours
landfill.
to?
Right now, we're taking it either to Fort Smith or we take it to Morrilton. And they take theirs to Morrilton, and it's way closer to Clarksville to Morrilton than it is Ozark to Morrilton. It's just logistics, is all it really boils down to.
I'd like to see a rate schedule that's more what you're actually looking for and presented it to us, instead of the numbers that we seen a couple months ago.
I don't know if I understand completely.
The rate sheet, when we looked at everything before, everything that we were seeing was 100 to 300% increases. I'd like to see it in what you're actually wanting to present to us and give us, based on the tonnage like Randy's talking about, we gotta go up on it, I know that.
Mhm.
But we gotta have a middle ground here to meet somewheres.
Well, I think we're really hanging up on the bag customers, if I'm just reading the room, correct? Bag customers?
And the way I
Bag
see-
customers that aren't inside the city, correct?
Yeah,
And we're
but-
providing a service for the city, correct? So why are we still gauging this off of non-city customers if this is ran for the city?
Because them customers you're talking about still spend their tax money in this city. So I don't want them taking their trash to Clarksville when it's gonna benefit you for it to be here too.
We're offering a service for them at their current location. We don't want to have them have to bring their trash all the way inside to the city.
No, but if you raise that rate so high on them trash bags, but you're forcing them to take your services in the country.
What is Clarksville's rate on trash bags?
They just do a ton rate. It's per ton.
They do ton as well,
Yeah.
okay.
So we're the only ones that really do
This
bags
is,
around here?
when we've, yes.
Do you have a way, let's say someone brings in 10 bags of trash, that's not gonna equal a ton. Do you have a proposal, maybe a smaller fee for a quarter ton? But you said you're gonna have to pay a ton charge.
Yeah, right now, it's $75 is what I show on the list right now. Now, we do have appliances that they take less for, but, I mean, we could do it by the yard, so it's $15 a yard.
And when someone comes out there with bags, you said, are they told about
they're told about they could have the service to their house for 30.
Yes.
how much did you say?
$21.
Is it this $21 a month?
Yes.
So they could have that to their house?
In some, if they're within a certain mile radius of the city, yes. With a card. We're not trying, by no means are we trying to do anything that's not being done by trash companies across the US.
I'm
What-
not saying
what-
you are, just,
Right, and because what's going on right now is this is not the norm. Having 25 rates, not the norm. But that's what the process was when the city ran it in 1995. And the rates, until we got here, had not changed since the early 90s, maybe or late 80s. To my understanding, that's how old that sign was. It said established by.
you said you offer cart service in the, outside the city limits.
We do,
Do you offer the dumpster service outside the city limits?
we do,
Is that suggested to them customers also?
absolutely.
I'm just trying to find a more economical way for
Sure.
the ones who are using it to still use your service.
Just
I
as
know.
long as we promoted it or promoted it better, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm the first one to say I didn't know.
Well, we actually do a lot of blast on social media to let people understand what our services are that we offer. We're not new to the area by any means anymore. And so, it's not uncommon to see it's hard to miss these orange containers. I get complaints about it sometimes I don't, it just kind of depends. But for us, we try to notify as many people as we possibly can of the services that we do offer. And I know Paul does a great job of letting people know, hey, he's always trying to help people let it be less expensive for them. If you did this, it's a lot less than that, which is great. We want to help our customers. We want to help the people that are coming out. But at the same time, we're doing this at a loss currently.
I know you gotta make money, but at least break
Well,
even on it.
I just want to break even. I guess I'm not here to make a lot of money. I just want to break even on the transfer station. And we're doing it because it's part of the contract.
I feel if we approve your $10, well, the whole proposal, which includes the $10 a bag, I think you're gonna lose most all them customers. Are you prepared for that?
Well,
It's no difference to you?
right now, we're losing money either way. Every time we go to landfill, we're losing money.
So you'd rather not have it than,
It's less trips for me to go to the landfill.
okay.
Jason, do you know how big the radius is that you were talking about outside of the city limits?
Right now, our service area expands from here all the way down to way past Morrilton.
I mean, like we have somebody that lives 10 miles north of Ozark, is that in the area that?
I'd have to look exactly, see what the address is. As long as there's a main way there to it, we're probably right around it.
Okay,
Because we touch on the other side of 23 in Huntsville. We come all the way to St. Paul
oh, that's a lot.
and Combs. So that area extends quite a bit.
That's right.
There's not much that we don't touch really anymore. It really has to be a pretty narrow goat path for us not to be able to get down to it. And we do have some smaller trucks that can get down there to those areas, but we're really trying to expand that as much as we can.
Right.
And we used to get a lot of third-party volume that came to the transfer station, but we don't anymore. They all go either straight to the landfill because it's just cheaper. They have third-party deals that are a lot more inexpensive for those haulers, which is rightfully so. That's where all that's gonna go anyways. So they're just cutting out the middleman. Yep.
Thank you.
And that's the whole reason we wanted to purchase that from the city, so we could put a new facility, we could put a headquarters here in Ozark, have a recycling center, put in scales. That was the whole reason behind that. And then once we started to dive deeper into the cost of what we're doing here, that's when it really started shining that, holy smokes, it's not a very good. And I feel like I'd be doing our company a disservice and you a disservice for whatever may come down the pipe. I don't want to have people thinking that this is something that's very lucrative. It's not. Or else I wouldn't be standing here today.
Well, the rates have to be fixed by ordinance, so whenever you guys decide the rates, you need to get them to me so I can put them in an ordinance.
Well, I can't decide them until they accept them.
Well, you can't decide them, they have to decide
Yeah.
them.
I'd love
But
to.
you can propose them.
I sure could, yeah, as I have, yeah.
That list that we had before, I had heard that that was made by somebody, not you, that that's not longer with the company. Is that the list? that
Same
you-
list, it
same
came from
list?
me.
Okay.
He was helping me facilitate.
Okay.
I'm only one person, I could only be in so many places at one time, so he was helping me with that.
Well, obviously, we can't go any further tonight. I would be open for another meeting, just a little like committee meeting, maybe one-on-one with you and, the council, whoever wants to come.
Yeah.
And we can discuss a lot of these issues, the issues of the transfer station, scales, these rates, the whole 9 yards, before the next council meeting, and get all this hammered out would be my suggestion.
I would appreciate that. I mean, guys, I'm open for any kind of feedback, all feedback. We feel like as a partner with the city, we just want to bring everything to light. So we're not hiding anything. We just want to say, hey, this isn't working for us. Can we come to a compromise here? I don't know what that compromise looks like. It might be completely different than what we're talking about tonight. And I don't want to get into hypotheticals without talking about it, more privately.
Jason, did you want to share with them what you told me your losses were?
I'm afraid to publicly because it's a lot.
Okay,
And I'm embarrassed, to be honest with you. It's a lot, guys.
that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it's, I can guarantee you that no one on that, right now, up there sitting down, would be where I'm at today, as calm as I am, with the losses that we've incurred there yearly. So,
Okay.
Charlie, because the way I fixed out that schedule, the next street and water would be after the council meeting, so do you want to, let's set a date
Yeah,
before the next council?
what's open on what committee meetings we have now?
Water and street will be in February.
Well,
Yeah, I know you changed all
I
that.
changed some of them around, yeah. February is the cemetery on the first Monday, street and water the third Tuesday, and fire police the first Monday.
Is there a spot somewhere in the later of this month?
Yes, because the third Tuesday is Parks and Rec, and the fourth Tuesday is Policy and Personnel. So your Tuesdays in January are the only thing that you have.
So we can do this third or fourth Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Does either of them work with you, Jason?
let me check here.
Well, the third Thursday would just be this week. I want to shoot for the 23rd.
Would it be possible to do the 30th?
Yeah. Is there anything on
There,
30th?
no?
Let's do the 30th.
Well, okay.
Are you good at that?
I'm okay with that. I can make the 30th work.
No, Thursday, the Thursday.
Thursdays, Jason, what time? 5 o'clock, okay with you,
Yeah.
or do you want to do 5:30?
3:30 is good if you guys
Yeah,
want
we
to
got,
do 3:30.
they can't do that.
Some of us still work.
Yeah. Well, also, that's work for me.
Let's just keep it with the 5:30 like we do the others. That way it doesn't throw people off, please.
Thursday the 30th.
Mhm.
Are there other trash topics for us to discuss?
Not that I'm aware of. Not unless you have something.
Not to change the count, not to change the meeting.
We will try to have, after this meeting, we're gonna have to move on it one way or the other.
Okay. Guys, I appreciate you guys listening to me on it.
Okay.
Can you have what Randy asked you for, available at that meeting?
What was that?
About the transfer station, the upkeep and everything else available?
I can work too. I've been kind of at the mercy of contractors. This time of year, they move at one speed sometimes. And with the weather, they're hibernating, I think. So I'm working to get a couple guys here. If you have anyone local that you would recommend to help me, I wouldn't be opposed to having someone come in and help give some estimates on it. I mean, the numbers are the numbers. They're not gonna be any different from anyone else except because the material is the material. I think the difference in what we were planning on doing versus what you guys may intend to do from a city standpoint may be completely different though, because we were wanting to completely revamp everything.
Can you
So,
bring those pictures that you had that night as well?
oh, I've got plenty of pictures
I
of
know,
trash
but if you'll
facilities.
bring them that night,
Mhm.
please.
Okay, do you think that we would need to plan on these scales to be able to move forward?
I think that scales would definitely level the playing field as far as going forward. You know, I don't think we want to, I mean, just the way things are today, we're not even up to where every other transfer station is today. And so I guess we need to really kind of ask ourselves as a city, what's our plans for this transfer station in the future? Do we need to keep the transfer station? What's the cost associated with getting it back up? I'll handle that portion of it. But what is the goal of having a transfer station inside the city? I think it's looked like different things throughout the years. I think in the beginning it was something that the city could utilize because they were their own waste hauler. But as the years have progressed, the cities have discovered that they don't need to be picking up trash. And so transfer stations managed or owned by cities have really kind of diminished. They're not like they used to be. And so as things have changed, you know, I think from a city standpoint, it's a good question to ask yourselves. What does this look like for us as a city? You know, as a company, we love transfer stations, but this is just a different bird for us not owning it. So I think that's a question for you guys maybe to think about, and we can talk about at that 30th meeting.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it. Okay, next on the agenda, we have the coalition resolution of support of the prison. Cody Sosby is here to talk.
I'm more nervous about working this microphone. All right.
There you go.
I sat last meeting and watched this all from the back room, and I was like, I'm gonna nail it when I get up there. And so this thing takes me down. All right, my name's Cody Sosby, and I'm here to represent the Franklin County and River Valley Coalition in opposing this prison. And really, as an organization and a group of citizens that are concerned about this prison that is being proposed to be built on Mill Creek Mountain in Franklin County, we're just asking for support and people to just support and understand kind of what's going on and help us oppose this prison. We've done a lot of research. The team has just done an astronomical amount of work in getting facts and figures together about this prison. It's a lot. It's a lot. Hundreds and hundreds of FOIA emails and stuff. It's a lot to take in. There was little transparency between the governor and us that lived there. That was the first thing that kind of set everything off. We didn't know, after she announced that on KDYN, we didn't know that, we knew nothing about it. I called Senator Stubblefield and Sheriff Johnny Crocker, those first couple calls, and Judge Bowman, and none of us knew anything about this until it was announced. So it caught us on our heels for sure. Once we got to getting into it, none of this made sense to be built on Mill Creek Mountain. It's about as rocky as where you and Beverly built your place. If people know where Lauren and Beverly lived out there, the same kind of rock. So the governor had said there was plenty of infrastructure, but there's not. We're very concerned about the water, where the water's going to come from. There's 16 poultry houses being built next to me right now, and River South had denied their water permits because they couldn't get enough water to them. This is a 3,000 bed facility. It'll be the biggest penitentiary prison in Arkansas on the smallest acreage. It's going to be built on 800 acres. If it being built, it will be bigger than the city of Charleston. And they're putting it right in the middle of a small country area with generations of just farm families and people that's lived in Franklin County their whole lives. There's several other examples like that. We wanted to see, we discussed last meeting, I think for you guys to go home and over the break and talk to your constituents and see what they thought about it. We would ask you to support us, whether that be through vote or however it may be, in just helping us to oppose having this prison. It's not so much having a prison built in our backyard. This is a horrible place to have the prison built. It will, when they start trying to make all the infrastructure, there's been several figures from senators to all around, other leaders. They're not going to have enough money to do this. They're not going to even been able to come close. Then that's going to fall back on the taxpayers, and there's been a lot of lack of transparency on that type of stuff, and I'd love to just open it up for questions and see what you guys think about it.
So you just want some support for us to support your fight?
Yes,
Cause.
because yes, that's it. I think I've heard some different things about it. It doesn't have any legal legs. It doesn't. When the Franklin County, our quorum court voted unanimously to support us on it, it's just a support as we're trying to go talk to the governor, the staff, the Department of Corrections, and different organizations and explain to them how this isn't going to be it's just not a good spot. There were other areas in the state that were going to give them land, or they were offered that, but for some reason they insisted on spending $2.9 million to purchase the land, and so that was a big question mark for a bunch of us. But we're set up to go around the state. We've been going to different counties, different chambers, just trying to gain support. And when we say we oppose it, we want you to support us in opposing it, to be on our side. That's really all it is, just to be on our side and support us as far as Franklin County and goes as far as that.
Mr. Sosby, I attended your meeting on the 3rd of January with Dr. Chris Jones.
Yes, sir.
It was he and Senator Stubblefield.
Yes, sir.
And it was really pointed out, made it clear to me, this is not a political issue. This is an issue of the people in this county that feel like they've been done wrong, and we understand that.
Yes, sir.
You know, when you take the politics out of it, it's basically we're all in this county together, and so I would be in favor of doing a resolution for this.
Well, I appreciate that, and really, as you can see, I come with a little date book, and then my sister shows up with half a closet of paperwork for me to talk about. I just wanted to try to keep it simple and ask for your support, and if if there was any questions that you hadn't heard of or read about, you're more than welcome to. We're going to fight like we used to, or?
I was just gonna say, there is a resolution that was made up by Joey McCutcheon that some cities have used. I do have it with Ozark. I thought y'all already had it, and there was a misunderstanding on our part, so I don't have it printed out, but I'll be glad to email it to each one of you or email it to your attorney. I know Charleston, John Burkamp is the attorney there. He made 1 or 2 lines difference on it that Charleston disagreed with, but we do have a resolution made up that I should have had printed here to hand out. That's my fault. So I can get that to whoever you want to, if you'd like to look over it or, verbally say, I understand not wanting to approve something that you haven't read or haven't made up yourself. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that we have that resolution if you'd
Well,
like to
I feel
see
like
it.
if we go this direction and decide to do this, our attorney is more than capable of coming up with the resolution for us, so,
And you all had a copy of that one that was
yes.
floating around
Yeah.
last month in your packets.
The ones that were passed by the other people.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, I think we could go forward on, we can agree that we're my part of it, I support it.
This is non-binding too. This is just stating
Right,
we
it's
agree
just
with
saying
them. We
we're
agree
in
with the way things have transpired in this process, and
If the
we don't
shooting
agree
starts, we'll be
with it.
behind you.
So-
Well, now that I'm not a justice of the peace anymore, I can agree with you on that. I'm not representing any taxpayers, but it's been rough. And aside from all that,
This land borders about a mile or so of my family land, and just to watch the neighbors around there, there's just no other way to put it. We were duped. And I've tried to stay professional with it and just, stuff like that. But it's been rough to swallow. And the word transparency's been thrown around a bunch, and there has been zero of it. And the more we've dug into it, the worse it's got. And I appreciate you bringing up the political part of that, because this is a lot of people supported our governor before this, and it's hard to go against someone that you supported. And so it's been difficult in that deal, but right's right, wrong's wrong, so.
Well, I'll make the motion that we pass a resolution supporting the Franklin County River Valley Coalition and their support.
I think we have to read one
Yeah.
first.
Well, and we have to get one,
Before we
yeah,
pass it.
but I'm just saying I'd like to go that direction
Yeah.
with it.
She's gonna email me the resolution. I've
Okay.
given her my email address. and
Okay,
I'll look at
good.
it. If I have any questions, I'm happy to forward it to you all, or to
Yeah.
Roxy and let her forward it out.
Just whatever.
But if we have any questions, we'll discuss it.
So do we need a motion to table this till next meeting, I guess?
I guess that's
Means
what
we don't have a
I think,
resolution?
yeah, don't,
Huh?
we need a motion to table this since we don't have a resolution to,
Yeah.
again.
Okay, and I'll
Does
make
that
a
work?
motion to
Okay.
table the resolution supporting the Franklin County River Valley Coalition.
I'll second it.
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Maker,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Appreciate
for,
it.
thank you
Shannon,
for your
thank
time.
Next is the update on the Kimbrough building. Nick and I met January the 2nd with Jan Bartlett Hicks, along with Chris Morris, and he is with McClellan Engineering out of Fort Smith. And they were hoping to have some figures tonight for us, but due to the weather, that all did not work out. But I will just tell you, in brief conversations with them, when the engineer looked at the building, he's very concerned, because he's afraid once they start on trying to fix that it is going to affect the bookstore. So he said he would like for us to be able to possibly work on both at the same time. And the roof is in worse shape. You can ask Devin, he was gracious enough to get the drone out, and it's worse than what we thought. They brought some gentlemen with them that do this construction work, and he said, I won't touch it. He said, I will not, because there's nothing stable for them to move next to. So, and he did tell me that he hoped we were ready for a chunk of money. So I just wanted to update y'all on that. As soon as I get those figures from him, I'll go ahead and email them out to you. I don't know, I know we had talked about reaching out to the bookstore owners. Have
I
we
have
been
written them
able?
a letter.
Okay.
I haven't heard back. I wrote them a letter some time ago, whenever we first mentioned it.
The back part, Nick and I were down there a week prior to when we met with them, and in that week's time, there's a huge section of the bookstore that has completely fallen out.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. So just,
Well, besides it's gonna fall in, it's gonna catch on fire.
mhm.
When something happens, it's gonna be catastrophic.
It is.
Where do they live?
They are in Fort Smith, the last I heard. Is that correct?
The
Is it-
Kimbroughs?
Yeah. No, the
bookstore.
bookstore people.
I
I think
think they
that
are
was the
in Fort Smith.
address, yes. So that's where we stand on that. Next is the city audit report. You all should have received at your home residence. Did everyone get your report that's in the little yellow packet? Did I get these? Probably got them about
Oh,
a month ago.
yeah.
And I will just tell you that it was a very good audit. Marla handed you the supplemental findings that we had. Those are there on your packets. Some of them, like the Easy Pay, that is just something with the computer. The AIS system that we cannot, it is what it is. We've worked on that, Brooke, for what, 3 years? That's gonna always be a mark, but they understand that, and basically that is where people are, signing in on the computer. We're doing it every way that we're supposed to. So the auditors wanted a little more thorough, but they're okay, they just have to mark that down on there. So, and if you will see on page 3 of 4, advertising and promotion funds distributed did not always include adequate supporting documents. That in itself was one reason that we started looking at the A&P, and that's when we discovered that really the city should not be having anything to do with that. And like I said, that's gonna get taken care of as well. So there was a few discrepancies with some vacations through the police department, but that is taken care of as well. So y'all have that. Does anybody have any questions on the audit? He was here 6 weeks. Yeah, he wasn't here very long this time, which was good. So if no questions, comments, we'll move on. So we're gonna move on to the budget for 2025. Got a copy that says current and revised at the top of it. Do you have them? You want them? As you all know, there were 4 meetings, no, 5, wasn't there? 4 or 5 meetings that we had doing this. So has anybody got questions? I know we worked on it some today, Marla did. There was some questions about some under the admin, and what was the other one was?
Both of them was under admin.
Okay.
The salaries didn't carry off the salary sheet to the admin.
Off of it,
To the admin page, right?
okay.
I went over it with a pretty good fine tooth comb, and there's a few of the incomes that are probably a little high and a few of them that are a little low. Kind of all washes and balances out, in my opinion. So I didn't feel it's worth fretting over, or whatever word you want to use.
One will offset the other maybe?
Yeah, it's pretty much gonna be a wash,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So I just left that alone, and that's the only real problems I seen in it was them 2 numbers
Carrying over,
didn't
okay.
carry off the other sheet correctly.
Okay. I'll make a note of that to watch that next time. I do want to tell you, council, right now, that because the budget was not passed, you all will get your checks tomorrow, because I told her not to write them until it was passed. So I think you'll be okay with that, but I asked her not to do that. Now, I will tell you, we had to pay a couple of bills that we had to pay, taxes, so that's where that stands. So do I have a motion? Are you ready to have a motion for approving the 2025 budget?
I'll make a motion to approve this revised 2025 budget.
And do I have a second?
I will second it.
Minor,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. I'll also make the motion to approve the water department's budget.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Tyler,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Next is the water sewer pump purchase. Tanya, are you ready to come to the front on that, please? Yes, it is. The engineering agreement is on there as well.
This sewer pump is an emergency,
Are you
really.
on?
I mean,
Hey, talk into your mic, please.
the sewer pump
There you go. There you go. You're gonna have.
is an emergency.
But I knew we could hang on till this meeting to get it approved. We have 2 pumps there on the south side of I-40 in that lift station. The one north pumps to this one, and then that pumps here. So we found out about 2 or 3 weeks ago that both pumps, well, one wasn't working, one has issues. We're addressing the issues with the pump in the ground, but, you know, we're crossing our fingers. It's gonna be fine, and we've tried to make some contingencies in case it goes out, so we need to order this pump. This Bertram is who we've got most of our sewer pumps from since I've been here, because they come down, they inspect everything, they figure it out, they bring it, they install it. And so it's an emergency. I can't bid this out. This is who does all of our pumps. I did contact 2 other places, and one other place was a little bit cheaper but did not include installing it. They did not come down and take a look. The other place was $80,000. They did not come down. They did not take a look. So I just did that to just make sure Bertram was in line, but I needed approved. We need to order this pump so it can be on its way. So we're back to the 2 pumps in that lift station, because the pump that's in there now, the drives is close. It could go out. So we're having it replaced, and then we need an all-new pump and a drive. So to me, it's an emergency, but it's $46,000 something, so I knew I probably could wait till this meeting. And so I just need y'all to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve the expenditure for a sewer pump for $47,685.15.
Right.
I'll second.
And to approve the engineering contract.
Yes, and also the engineering contract.
Right, that's just kind of the one it's just for general engineering. It's just like we've had before. If it's a big project, they actually submit a whole new thing. This is just for general things.
Okay.
That's it.
I didn't know if we do that
So-
separate or not, but thanks, Kevin.
Melton,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Okay, next we have the ordinance for the city clerk salary. That ordinance is in your packet. Yes, it says example on it. Susan has that right there for you. It's ordinance number 2025-2. And I need a motion to read, please.
I'll make a motion to read.
I'll second.
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Confused.
Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Ozark, Arkansas, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending the 2025 budget and the previous ordinance setting the salary of the city clerk for 2025. Section 1, the 2025 city budget is hereby amended to reflect an annual cost of living increase for the city clerk of 3%, so that her 2025 salary shall be raised to $9,709.36. Section 2, this ordinance being necessary for the division of city government for the preservation of the public peace and necessity, an emergency is hereby declared to exist. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage.
Need a motion to dispense with second and third reading and read by title only, please.
So moved.
We have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Tyler,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
An ordinance amending the 2025 budget and the previous ordinance setting the salary of the city clerk for 2025. An ordinance amending the 2025 budget and the previous ordinance setting the salary of the city clerk for 2025.
You need a motion to approve, please.
Motion to approve.
And I'll second it.
Melton,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the ordinance for establishing meeting procedures. Stick together on you. Y'all have this one.
Yes. I make a motion to read ordinance number 2025-1.
Have a motion on the floor for ordinance 2025-1. I need a second, please.
Second.
Tyler,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-1, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Ozark, Arkansas, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance designated procedures for meetings of the City Council of the City of Ozark, Arkansas. Section 1, as required by Arkansas Code annotated 14-43-501, City Council hereby designates the following procedures for its meetings. Regular council meetings shall be held in the City Council chambers on the second Monday of each month, beginning at 5:30 p.m., unless such date shall be a federal or state recognized holiday, in which case it shall be the following day. Section 2, an agenda shall be prepared by the city clerk for each regular or special meeting of the City Council. Section 3, the agenda shall contain any item of business that any member of the City Council shall request be added thereto, or any matter requested by the mayor be added thereto. Any member of the general public wishing to place an item on the agenda shall obtain the consent of a member of the City Council or mayor, who shall join in the request to add the item for the agenda. All agenda items shall be submitted to the clerk recorder in time for preparation of notice to the newspaper by noon on Friday, 10 days before the scheduled meeting. If a third party wishes to appear on the agenda and is sponsored by a council person, the subject of such presentation shall be revealed to the city clerk, and it shall be included on the agenda. Any handouts shall be furnished to the clerk by the above deadline. Section 4, the agenda shall be prepared in the following format. Number 1, call to order. Number 2, prayer and pledge of allegiance. Number 3, roll call. Number 4, minutes of prior meetings. Number 5, treasurer's report. Number 6, committee and commission reports. Number 7, department reports. 8, old business. Number 9, new business. Number 10, public comment. 11, announcements, and 12, adjournment. Section 5, while it is recognized by the council that a citizen's right to address its government is essential to our democratic republic, doing so during a meeting to conduct the business of the city should be limited, and therefore citizens are encouraged to contact their representatives at times other than during city council meetings. Should a citizen desire to address the council during its meeting, such person shall so indicate on a sign-in sheet prior to the meeting. Public comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person and shall consist of a statement to the council or mayor by each such person. Public comments are not for the purpose of question and answer session. Section 6, the agenda shall be transmitted to each council person, the mayor, and the city attorney at least 10 days before the regular meeting.
Need a motion to dispense with the second and third reading and read by title only, please.
So moved.
I'll second.
Tyler,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
An ordinance designated procedures for the meetings of the City Council of the City of Ozark, Arkansas. An ordinance designating procedures for meetings of the City Council of the City of Ozark, Arkansas.
Need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-1.
Second that.
Baker,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Next, you have the Bank of Ozark letter of credit. This is just a standard procedure that we do each quarter, and it's back on, it's next to the last page, if you want to look at that. And as you see, they'll just have to have a copy of these meeting notes. So I need a motion to do the letter of credit for Bank OZK, please.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Meyer,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have the 25 committee and commission assignments and meeting schedules. I had a couple council members ask if it would be possible to do meetings on Mondays and Tuesdays, simply because we have so many school activities, things going on Thursdays. So there were just a few changes here. Your back page tells you on the meeting, so if you want to pull it apart, however you want to do that, and keep it in that binder if you would like one. And I have one for you as well, and anyone else that would like one, I have copies here. Mhm. And if for some reason something does not work out with you, please give me a call and we can, I will tell you that the Planning Commission is having theirs on Thursdays. That is what works for them. And so I left that one as needed for them. Devin and I discussed the ordinances, and he is going to do those as needed. I will tell you that he is working on an ordinance on vacant buildings downtown, something that we can put a little teeth into it that would hold up in court for us. So he is working on that. So that would be the first one that comes up that we'll be working on, or he'll be having a meeting on. The Pride and Beautification, theirs is the second Tuesday of each month. And I think that is probably the only, yes. So does anybody have any questions? If at all possible, please do not cancel these meetings, and I ask that you make sure you get with the department head to see if they may have something, or they'll be in touch with you. Those seem to be going good. I mentioned that we could possibly do away with having meetings, and that they did not want to do that, so that's fine. Just a second here, and we will have announcements. Thank you. That would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, under public input, I have Michelle Brown.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. Real quick, because I know it's still cold out. We want to all get home. The issue of the Franklin County Coalition and the River Valley Coalition in opposition to the prison bill, one of the questions that I saw float around from their Facebook page and on our community groups that I saw was about water usage coming from Ozark. So the question, and this is a theoretical question, I don't expect anyone to be able to answer this right now, is have we done like a feasibility study or began or started those communications or an impact analysis on what a potential prison build would actually do and how it would impact our city? Obviously, I know we've heard the sheriff address that issue and his concerns of employment issues, being able to keep good people, compete with their $46,000 a year salary that they're going to pay, and and not having a good workforce. But it made me think about what would happen to our water if they truly were needing these millions of gallons of water from us. And so that's, and I know Tanya does an awesome job of running the water department. So, and she wasn't here last month. And so that's the thought is, have we began to look at that? Would it be good for us to have a big water customer as a city? I mean, is it profitable? Is it a nightmare? Can we not do it? Does it put us at risk down the road of being able to supply our own growth needs for water? I don't know. These are just some of the questions that I thought I had, and I wondered if some kind of conversation or potentially, you know, some type of analysis of the different ways it would impact Ozark have been, began to be analyzed and looked at. So that's it. Thank y'all.
Thank you, ma'am. Crystal Wright?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. We've all dealt with last Thursday and Friday's weather, which I don't know about you guys, but I've had enough snow. And I know these gentlemen in the back have, and I want to commend them on the fantastic job that they did these past few days. I have got numerous phone calls on how well the streets were taken care of. The police kind of went above and beyond, taking care of some people that meant a lot to our residents. Brooke, I want to thank her for keeping up with the time changes, things on Facebook. So, guys, thank y'all. Thank you for what you did. I know we closed city offices for 2 days, and you all were still out there battling that, so thank you. Know that we appreciate y'all very much, okay? We do have room for 3 more benches at Highland Cemetery. When they got up there, Michael had some more space, so I have 3 for sale if anyone wants to purchase one, or you can buy all 3. I'm good with that, and they would be as well. At the last council meeting, it was brought up the possibility of getting with the highway department and looking into a possibility of a 4-way stop out in the vicinity of Jordan's. After discussing with Jason Huey, who is with the highway department, that is just not feasible, he said. And they did come out and look at it. He felt like that the only 2 times during the day is obviously what we all know, school in session and then when they get out. So he did assure me that they are still working on information for us in regards to a stoplight out there. I will tell you that that is on my list. The governor did make comment that cities that were affected by this prison with their infrastructure, that she would be willing to help. So the top of mine is the water, and then the other is the 2 stoplights. That's just the 3 things that I have on that list ready for her. So we have ended another quarter, and for the employee of the month for the community center for October, November, and December is Annabelle Gordon. The fire department is Mr. Michael Brasso. The police department is Donna Kirshner. Oh, you got elected to come get that, did you? You want to stay here for the street department is Robert Gresham. And for the water department is Roy Sampley. I'll give that one to Brooke. Okay, if we have no other business, I need a motion to adjourn, please.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I need a second.
I'll second it.
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Hilton,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.